Finn looks exactly like you. Holy crap.
It's a horrible thing to say about my son.
I know, I'm sorry. I kind of knew it before, but just there was like, I don't know what it was, but there was this facial expression you just made a minute ago where it's like, oh my god, that's Finn.
The look he gets when he gets a new toy.
Pretty much,
same look I get when I get one. Yeah.
There's one thing I want to say before we start here, Phil.
Yeah.
Phil's about to get yelled at.
What? So,
yes. Your microphone. Oh, gosh.
You just did
your microphone adjusts to the volume that you're speaking. So, for instance, like last week when at the beginning of the show you sneezed or coughed into the microphone very loudly, basically like screwed up the noise reduction in your track for the rest of the show.
Well,
it made you too quiet, is what I'm saying. If you want to be,
that's something you're complaining about.
This is the only time in our lives that any of us are going to complain that you are too quiet, Phil.
That's right. If you want to be at a regular volume, if you're going to laugh or cough into the microphone loudly, please back away first. Then do it.
I turned my head away from the microphone to cough. Or to breathe in.
Or to do anything loudly.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'll do something right now that's not very loud.
I heard that.
That reminds me of
quiet. That's quiet, huh?
You gotta turn it up.
Oh, is this too quiet for you? I can turn that right up.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm getting a call from my wife. Yes.
The classics never die.
If we're talking about toys, look at this toy. This is a Luigi Mansion.
What do we got?
Japan.
That is awesome.
Oh,
detachable
nice.
backpack. You can
it detaches?
You can swap out the packs.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's not a backpack. That is a poltergust. Come on, man.
Oh god, yeah. I know.
What can you put on there instead of the poltergust?
A backpack.
Well, there's one with the flashlight end, and there's one just with the vacuum end.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
And also, this is the same price as an amiibo. This is an actual plushie Link.
Yeah, but does that
it has no RFC in his ass.
Can you resell that for $80?
I can't. But actually, I've been like doing. I just bought 2 amiibos in Japan.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Shipped them to my buddy's house and for when I get out there. The Link one, which you can't get, the little Toon Link, and also was the other one that I ordered. I think it was Day to Day.
King DDD.
Oh, DDD, yeah.
No.
Hey, you're on a Kirby kick right now, aren't you?
I don't know why I bought it. I think it was just because it was like the thing is that they're 1,100 yen in Japan on Amazon, and that's like $9. Or like $10.50. Oh, the Mega Man one. That's what I got. The Rockman one.
Oh man.
Oh, you did.
Mega Man and Sonic are definitely
because they're readily available. They're not. You can just buy them like on Amazon right now in Japan. They're not.
Is Mega Man out now here?
No.
No, not yet.
No. But yeah, they're 1,100 yen.
Do they ship to the U.S.?
No, they don't. But I'm just having them shipped to my buddy's house, and I'll just grab them whenever I get back there.
Okay. Nice. I did. Look at that. There we go.
Went to Target.
Got
took a trip.
Actually, online order from Target. Target.edu. I was able to get an order in. I've not seen these in the stores over here, so
it's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it is. It's true.
I've never seen Josh get mad in my life, and he's pissed off because of those things.
Because of Rosalina?
Yeah, I think he was trying to get one for his daughter.
Got one right here. Maybe I will.
How old is his daughter?
I think she's 3 or 4.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought she was newer than that. Sorry.
I should just break this on the air. Should I just snap it in two?
Do you remember those videos? Yeah. Was it PlayStation 2?
What happens?
There's always
smash my Xbox and smash my PS3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those were brilliant.
Brilliant's one word.
All right, let's do a clap because we're basically like we're talking about show stuff here. We could be talking on the air. All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Beautiful.
How's that?
Like music to
Beautiful.
CJ's taint.
Hello and welcome to episode 431 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, February 10th, 2015. I am your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from the left coast is Mr. Left Shark, Phil Theobald.
What?
Left shark?
Left Shark?
Is that a... I don't...
Don't get that.
And from
is-
the Great White North, Mr. Right Shark, Greg Seward.
Evening.
We were recording the podcast last week during the Super Bowl, and then that whole like Left Shark thing.
Oh, this is a Super Bowl halftime joke.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
A week late.
Wow. This is like
Yeah,
this is like that
that's-
radio. This is like that pre-recorded radio call-in show. If you want to talk
Exactly.
about,
Yes.
if you want to talk about the elderly,
elderly.
last week.
Exactly.
We're talking about pet care.
Speaking of the elderly, Mike Phillips not joining us this week,
Oh.
unfortunately. Again, yes.
Oh,
In his
my.
place, we have Mr. Kevin Larrabee, host of Back in My Play and the Fitcast. Hello, Kevin.
How you guys doing? It's actually I'm like in the Great White North right now. We are getting pounded with another blizzard, and there's no place to put the snow.
Crazy.
Oh, man.
Welcome to my world.
What is the death toll from the killer snowstorm?
Oh, the elderly. There's just a pile of elderly people
Oh,
in
man.
the street. It's like that.
Raining
Just
down.
piled in the streets. It's
Like a shotgun full of snow.
no
There's a
place
guy
to put
walking
the
down the
elderly.
street singing, bring out your dead. It's weird.
I feel better.
I haven't seen that movie in far too long. I gotta watch that movie again.
Same here. That movie's great. I need my kids to grow up just a little bit more so they can watch it with me. I feel like if I showed it to them right now, it would be irresponsible.
Are we talking about Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious
Oh,
Tokyo Drift. Yep.
Yep.
So the Super Bowl commercial for that happened last week too, huh?
Still have not seen it.
Not only that, but we got a 2-minute trailer. We got, a 3-minute trailer too, which is going to be, I believe, the final trailer before we get to the release in April, which is outstanding. It is just how they could turn it up even another notch.
There's an outside chance I want to fly down to your place to go see the Fast and Furious with you.
Do it. I'll get IMAX tickets on me.
I don't know anyone else that's going to be as excited as me to go see that movie.
So pumped. I can't wait.
Yeah. We had a tweet actually. I'll just do this at the top of the show. Hacker alias Randomly Rossi with a Fast and the Furious tweet. He says, "We've added The Rock, Jason Statham, and Kurt Russell. Who do you want to join the Fast and the Furious franchise next?"
Paul Walker.
Oh.
No?
Wow, too soon.
Man, ouch.
He's in this one, right? Isn't he? He is.
He is.
They filmed some of his scenes or all of his scenes before.
Principal photography was completed
Right.
before he passed, and the extra stuff, the reshoots they did with his brothers.
Oh, yeah, his brothers, right.
It's not like a Ed Wood, Bela Lugosi thing where there's some guy walking around with a cape over his face through half
Oh my
the
god,
movie.
that's the greatest thing ever. For anyone who's never actually seen Plan 9 from Outer Space, you should. It's terrible, but it's so great.
Yeah.
Remember there was a THQ game. What was it called? Destroy All Humans.
Ren and Stimpy Fire Dogs.
Destroy All Humans, and that actually shipped
right.
with a DVD of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
That's right.
That's why I have a copy of the movie.
Yes.
But getting back to the question.
At the very least, watch Ed Wood. So.
Ed Wood's a great movie, but it's like once you see Ed
I
Wood,
know,
you
I
kind of
know.
have to watch Plan 9 just to really see the beauty of it. Like
It will remind
Speaking
you
of-
that Tim Burton made good movies at one point.
he
And
did. Yep.
Speaking of Ed Wood, what about Johnny Depp? in the Fast and Furious.
There you go.
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
Wear some totally sick scarves. Come on.
Will Ferrell. I want to see Will Ferrell in the Fast and the Furious.
Keep his ass on a pirate ship for the rest of his life. He can just keep pumping those things out.
I would go for Johnny Depp in Fast and Furious if he was just the voice of one of the cars.
Maybe if David Hasselhoff co-starred when
he... Okay, stop making fun of my favorite movie franchise. I understand, this is supposed to be...
The best thing is randomly Rossi is actually a big Fast and Furious fan. This is a serious question.
This is.
Yeah.
I think they should try to bring it back because if you... this is spoilers if you haven't seen Tokyo Drift, but they never show Han's body at the end of Tokyo Drift. So unless they, physically show his body, I hope they can bring him back, Sung back from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, and bring him back for 8. But the thing that we do know is that we do have the character from Tokyo Drift coming back, which I want to say his name is Brian, but I'm blanking for this.
Oh, really?
I'm actually blanking on my name right now, but he's actually back in 7, but he's not part of the Furious 7 cast.
Okay.
He's not one of the 7 main characters, but he's definitely going to be in it. Which
you worried me for a second there.
Oh, he actually really did a great job in Tokyo Drift. I thought he did a fantastic job, and he showed what it's like to be uprooted from a southern town or a southern state of the United States, and then have to go to Tokyo, which is a vastly different environment for a guy with a southern accent.
True.
I'm not sure, but I can't tell if you're serious.
No, I think he's great. If you've seen Friday Night Lights, he put together a fantastic performance with his abusive father that he had to I forget the country singer who played his father in that movie, but you know what? I think we should just leave it up to the fantastic producers and Chris, one of the writers who has written every single Fast and Furious movie since 4. I think he has the right mindset, and the producers clearly know what group of people to put together to make a bunch of money and to make a movie that is enjoyable. So even with the latest director, who is now not going to be coming back for 8, I think there's going to be some great stuff going on. But and that last thing I'm going to say is that the director from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift from 3 to 6 is now directing the next Star Trek movie, which is Justin Lin, which is going to be that's automatically going to probably be the best Star Trek movie of all time. It's going to destroy 4. 2, Wrath of Khan is going to go way to the bottom of the list.
This is some heavy.
Yeah, this
Wrath of Khan is destroy First Contact. What?
First Contact, which I watched last week, is still fantastic.
That's a good movie.
But I still think Justin Lin automatically makes a movie at least an extra $100 million.
So does Johnny Depp, though. Johnny Depp could...
Yeah, the last 3 movies Johnny Depp have put out have lost $20 million apiece.
Have you seen the numbers on those Transformers movies?
I know.
Maybe Michael Bay takes on the next Fast Furious.
All this stuff, what you should do right now is go watch the Epic Rap Battles video that features Steven Spielberg and Alfred Hitchcock. You should just go watch that. You'd love it.
Okay.
All right, then.
I won't, but thanks.
You should.
Well, speaking
I've seen it, Greg. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Speaking of movie and entertainment news, should we tackle this right out of the gate? And apparently the rumor is that Netflix is in development of a Zelda live-action television series.
Did the rumor come from Polygon?
Came from a Yahoo account, A Bard's Tale 2000.
Yeah. AOL chat room, Zelda fan club.
Yeah. And they describe it as a family-friendly Game of Thrones, which is just a ridiculous statement to make.
You know the producer that put those words together, though, who was thinking the money that we could think, or the audience of a HBO series.
A family-friendly Debbie Does Dallas.
Exactly. So what do you think? What do you think about the rumor? What do you think about the possibility that they're going to turn this into a show?
I think I'd like to hear it from a better source.
It's the Wall Street Journal. Come on.
Other than Link is my bitch 69 or whatever the name of that person was.
No, it's Wall Street Journal.
But you said it came from an AOL account somewhere.
No,
it was sarcasm.
Yeah.
Sarcasm.
I couldn't tell.
Now,
after we just get into the really serious discussion about the political and social impact of the Fast and the Furious films, I don't know what's real anymore.
Greg,
this whole show's thrown me for a loop.
Here's what you need to be skeptical of, though. The actual source, people are just kind of paring it down, but it's lowercase x, capital X, lowercase x, underscore, Wall Street Journal 420 Super Saiyan underscore lowercase x, Apple uppercase x, and lowercase x. So,
well, then let's talk about it.
Take that for what you will.
But this can this can only be good. Like, this is no, I'm being serious.
It's terrible. It's going to be amazing.
Okay, this is one of the big problems that I have with the internet. Maybe even games journalism's term and their negativity right now. But the first thing that happened was when this stuff started coming up was lots of snarky comments from people that are games journalists who clearly know how to make this show better than the people that are actually making it, because Netflix has not produced any good television shows over the last 3 years, have they?
Let's be fair. Let's be fair to these games journalists. I mean, if Nintendo had listened to them, they wouldn't be out of business now.
That's true. Yeah,
I think you mean to say if they listened to them, they would be out of business now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Did you see how many games Nintendo is just giving away right now? I mean, you don't have to do that.
But what I'm trying to say is that if you kind of just look at it this way, it's the same argument that people have when they say, like, the next Ghostbusters is going to be terrible. It's going to ruin all the previous Ghostbusters. No, you're stupid. You don't ever have to see that next Ghostbusters movie. You still have your Blu-ray copy of Ghostbusters 1 and 2. You can always watch those movies. Anytime a remake comes out, you get those same people that start saying, oh, man, why are you remaking this movie? Hollywood's out of ideas. No, you know what? They're making these movies for a new generation because I'm never going to go back and watch movies that were made in the 60s and usually in the 70s because they don't hold up. They look dated, they look old, and I can't relate to them. I'm serious. Because I'm.
Have you ever seen Plan 9 from Outer Space?
No, I don't like old stuff. I like new stuff.
Hey.
It's the same reason why we all make our characters, for the most part, look like us in games, so we can relate to those characters to kind of like get more enveloped into the story. For this,
speaking as an old bald fat dude, I don't make characters in my games look like me.
But you make them bald, right? And white.
Make them bald.
You make them bald and white.
You might have that part right.
And you have a little bit of wiggle room outside of that. So that all I'm trying to say is, like, I think that is the big take-home point for me, is that Netflix has put out some really good stuff. House of Cards, Orange is the New Black. They've brought back series that are fan favorites, and they've put new life into them. I would just say,
but did you see Arrested Development season 4?
I've never watched Arrested Development. I didn't.
Different situation there.
It's not.
But Kevin's right in general. I mean, they put out really good original stuff.
Just give it a shot. We don't know anything about it. We know we have one hint or one.
We have no information, pretty much. And to me, it's like when people heard that Michael Keaton was going to be Batman, and everybody laughed that.
Mr. Mom.
To be fair, that was the proper response. I mean, he did end up being a good Batman, but that was against all odds.
That's true. Or, you hear, they're going to make a Lego movie. They're going to making a movie called The Lego Movie. And it's going to combine Batman and Superman and all this stuff. It kind of sounds lame on paper, but then that movie's pretty damn good.
It's funny, though, because I was totally in that camp, and then I saw it, of course, because I have kids, so I was allowed to go see it in the theaters without looking like a total dork.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. But then we started watching some of the movies that they've been releasing with the Lego license for years now.
Oh, right.
And the actual Lego movie was not a surprise after that. The mixture of all the different licenses was, but almost everything they do has that sort of really same kind of wit and charm to it. Like,
Sure.
that movie wasn't a surprise at all if you'd been following that. I don't know why you would have been following that Lego stuff if you're not Phil, but
right. Well, I'm just curious as to how long, let's say, Godfather has before it becomes not good anymore, and
Lego
we have to remake.
Okay.
Lego Godfather.
Well, I wouldn't watch
Make it happen.
Godfather in the first place because I wouldn't be interested in that movie. I'd rather watch like Fast and Furious 6, which has a gangster element to it.
I gotta say, the first Godfather is kind of hard to watch now.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good movies that came out in the 60s that still hold up.
So are we saying that Keanu Reeves' Day the Earth Stood Still is better than the original
like
Day
that
the Earth
movie.
Stood Still?
Yeah, that was pretty
Oh
good.
my goodness.
What
Oh my
about
goodness.
Psycho? What about the shot-for-shot remake?
Yeah, Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn
He's hilarious in
finally
that movie. He's awesome.
doing Psycho the way Hitchcock intended it to.
That's right.
You should go watch that epic rap battle.
With the guy from
Owen Wilson's
Wedding
in it too. It's
Crashers.
funny. Owen Wilson's like the guy who's
Wilson's in
driving
it?
the car or something.
Oh,
Yeah, to me, this news isn't all that worrying. Probably Nintendo's going to say no to it anyway. But it's not like we're hearing that Crackle.com is presenting Zelda the web series or something like that. Netflix does have a reputation at this point for doing good stuff, so I'm not too worried. If it does come to fruition, fine.
I'm interested. Don't get me wrong. I'm interested.
as long as they don't ruin my childhood
guys-
by wrecking the rest of the games for me.
I mean,
Yeah,
you guys remember
you
that
know-
IGN trailer that they put together for an April's Fool's joke a couple of years ago for the Zelda trailer, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
I thought that was decent. Like, I even rewatched it last week, and it's still like, man, I would really get excited for a really good series with Zelda music in it, with some good acting, and like I can get more invested into that than I would a Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I just don't care about those characters. But even with these characters being so shallow, I do care about this franchise.
I like also, Greg, how you were saying that your childhood is going to be robbed. Remember, of course, that during your childhood they made a Legend of Zelda cartoon that,
Yeah, that was great.
Well,
was
excuse me, princess.
Whoa!
So,
That
if anything, they would be repairing the damage that was done by that.
No.
no, that show was really good. You always looked forward to Fridays when they had episodes of Legend of Zelda.
Exactly. Yeah.
Captain Lou
I'm not
comes
kidding.
out and uses
You know, the problem is
I have that show on DVD. Sure.
the problem is that they're all ruining my childhood through my children at this point because, like now my kids have crappy Star Wars movies and my kids have crappy Transformers. My kids have crappy everything.
Oh.
And My Little Pony's become this
Hey,
weird
hey,
sex
to
thing.
be-
I don't understand any of it.
To be fair, the new Transformers series are way better than the ones we had.
But the movies,
Well, I'm not saying the movies. I'm saying the cartoon.
the series we had was great. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, you'll be hard pressed to find anyone who loves Transformers more than me. But go back and watch that old show. It's it's not good.
I actually
is
got them
not
all
good.
on DVD.
It's amusing. They're amusing.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Same with G.I. Joe, and my
Yeah.
favorite. I think you know what my favorite episode of G.I. Joe is. There, Phil.
Is it the one where Cobra Commander's wanting to carve his face into the moon?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
What?
Because everyone will look
You
at
sure-
the moon and see
sure
the
you're not
cobras.
You're not thinking about the Tick.
No.
No,
Oh, okay.
no. This was actually it was a G.I. Joe plot first.
Yes. But cartoons from the '80s don't hold up anymore, so let's skip that.
come
Club
on.
Nintendo. Club Nintendo has revealed their last list of rewards. Final
Yeah.
list is available, and I was finally able to get into Club Nintendo this morning.
Really?
Points.
Yeah.
I
And
keep hoping that some more surveys are going to pop up because I think I was left with like 50 points or something like that. So I'd like to No, but I don't think I have any more surveys left.
I picked up the Zelda 3DS pouch,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then I picked up Game & Wario, Doc
Mhm.
Lewis's Punch-Out, Fluidity Spin Cycle, and Super Mario Land 2 6 golden coins.
Ah, very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, you had a pretty decent stash there, huh?
I did. I was
Not
really
bad.
hoping they would put that Luigi's Mansion stuff.
Yeah. Same here.
So hoping,
That's so bad.
but no.
Nope.
Europe got a really good lineup too, where they got access to the Link Between Worlds 2-disc soundtrack. So with me, I'm still I'm on a pretty positive Nintendo thing lately. So I just did. Kevin did what Nintendo didn't, and I just imported the CD from Japan for like
Nice.
$35.
There you go.
Because you know what, this 2-disc soundtrack is one of the best video game soundtracks of all time. So if you do want it and you're in America, go on eBay. There's tons of copies for like $35 from importers, and I got it in like a week. So just do that.
Is it a bootleg?
No, it's from Club Nintendo.
Oh, it's got the actual Club Nintendo logo on there and everything?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
It's got the nice spine, and it's
Okay.
it's really really nice. That's the thing. Europe does not get, like in Japan they have CD spines like on their games and on their music CDs. I don't know why, but it is something that is included in this as well. But it's a really good set.
Cool. Did
Very
any
nice.
of you guys redeem your Nintendo tokens?
I did. I got the pouch, the Majora's Mask messenger bag.
The messenger bag.
Wow. Those are going for $100 on eBay.
That's pretty much the
Really?
reason I got it. I don't ever plan on using it. And I got, you know what? I don't even remember the games. I picked up a couple of games. The problem was that there's a lot of Virtual Console stuff on there, which is great.
Yeah.
But between the Retron 5 and the Frame Master that I have, most of that stuff I have on cartridge. So there was no reason to spend those points. But I did like the fact that they had some stuff up there like Wonderful 101 and Wario and Game & Watch or whatever that's called.
Wario.
Yeah, so like it was nice that there was some retail stuff on there that I didn't already have, and I forget what it was I picked up, to be honest, but that's what it was, one of those.
Yeah. Phil, what about you?
Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kevin. Why not?
Oh, I got that Zelda pouch too. I remember getting the Mario pouch, which I never used, and then I lost it in a move. But the Zelda one looks pretty great. I also got on the Virtual Console. I got Earthbound for $2.
Sweet.
I've never played that. I've never even tried it in an emulator.
Really?
So I'm looking forward to actually seeing what that game's all about. Might be a future episode. And I also picked up, even though I own 3 different copies of it, Link's Awakening again for the 3DS because it did not transfer from my last console. So, I mean, that's just a game that I want to always have. And it's a game that I've never completed, so I'm hoping like sometime I'll get stuck in an airport or something and I'll just sit down and play through it.
Nice.
Wasn't Link's Awakening DX, wasn't that one of the Ambassador games? Am I wrong about that?
I don't believe it was.
No? Okay, never mind then. Oh, Harmonite, that's the other game I picked up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, that's a cool game. That's a really cool game.
Yeah, it's one of those ones I've always been interested in, but I just never got around to buying.
From the Pokemon Company, right?
Yeah.
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 It's from Game Freak.
Yep.
Phil, what'd you get?
I picked up Game & Wario, and I still have enough left over for a smaller game, but I have not decided on which I will be getting yet. Turns out I have a lot of the ones that are being offered, so
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna get, but we'll see.
It was very cool that they put retail games up there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
It's like a Platinum Award. It's like I'm looking. We get those in a month or something too, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Sweet.
Oh, did they announce what those were yet?
No.
No.
I don't
I didn't
think
make Platinum this year either. I was like,
I didn't. I'm like 110 points away.
Pissed me off.
Yeah. All right. So the new Nintendo 3DS XL comes out on Friday.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yes. Anyone make any preparations for it?
You know what? I'm just pissed that they're not bringing out the normal sized one with the face plates.
We
it's
talked
like,
about
why would they not do that? It's such a joke.
It's a reasonable argument.
I think it signals actually Nintendo's planned shift to mobile.
Yeah.
Which, is really the smart thing to do.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Kevin to snap something on camera over there. Just grab like a brick or something and just.
Someone that already owns the small one, anyways. I already have a Japanese small one, so it's not
it's region locked.
It is now, but it looks like there are ways to get around that. I just am too lazy to go into it, and I don't really care. It plays my Sega 3D Classics game.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
So I picked up a 64 gig micro SD card in prep.
Screwdriver.
Yeah.
And whatever the Phillips screwdriver I need, I got to pick that up as well. But so I transferred everything already.
Wait a minute.
What?
You need to go pick. You don't have a screwdriver in your home? What kind of?
I probably do.
How ill-bred are you as a husband and a father that you don't even have a decent?
I'm sure that I do.
House?
I just have to make sure I have the right one.
Failure.
Yeah.
Man failure.
But I already transferred everything over to the 64 gig card, and I'm using that in my 3DS XL right now, so it'll be easier to transfer stuff on Friday.
Oh, that's a great idea. So you just transfer, I got one of these things, which is like an SD with a micro thingy.
That's what I did too, yeah.
That's real smart. So you just drag and drop that stuff and you pop it in? You're good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I copied the contents over to my computer and then copied them over to the new card, and it works perfectly.
That is all you need to do.
So
all you got to do is the license transfer on Friday and pop the card out, put it into the new XL, and you're good.
I wonder if that's going to be a problem with Nintendo servers or anything like that on Friday when everyone else is trying to transfer their licenses.
You wonder about that?
Well, I don't know if it's a huge server load or not. Is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if it's just because I know in Japan, when the guys at 8.4 got their stuff, they were doing 12-hour transfers. And even the guys at Giant Bomb, when they got their 3DSs early, the press got their 3DSs a week or two ago, and even for them, it took overnight to transfer all that stuff when no one else had them. So that's the only reason why I'm am I not going to be able to use this thing for 48 hours or something like that?
The best part is since it doesn't come with a cable of any sort, your charge won't last long enough for you to get to use it anyway.
Well, that's why you buy another charger.
Yeah. No, my sarcasm was meant to convey, yes, that it's going to take forever to transfer your stuff over.
This is what you need, though. Yeah. You need one of these.
I'm jealous of that.
Bad import. Well, the thing is, it actually says 3DS XL on the bottom, too. It says LL and XL, so I don't know if they already branded it, getting it ready to come to the States, whether it be Club Nintendo or whatnot. But, these are
they'll bring it out eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it's actually a really nice cradle that has a nice setup where the cable comes out of the side, and you just put your 3DS in vertically, which is kind of weird, but they're nice and they're $8 in Japan. But if you guys really want one, I'll grab one when I'm back there in March.
Sold.
Yes. So what are you guys going to do with your old 3DSs? Have we
continue to use it?
Will belong to my children.
There you go. Pass it along.
Mine's on eBay right now.
There you go.
I have no immediate plans to get a new one. So
no.
Join us.
Why?
I went to Best Buy.
It's bliss.
I stopped by the local Best Buy Atorium on my lunch hour on Thursday or Friday, and they had a new 3DS kiosk already.
Oh, cool.
And I was able to see they had the finish for the new colors, the red and the black. Both look really awesome. So
nice.
I'll just pick up whichever one they have. If they still have the black, I'll pick that up. If they have.
Did you try the tracking, the eye tracking?
I did not.
Oh, it's awesome.
No. Yeah.
That's the main reason I want the new one.
Yeah.
I'm one of those horrible people that got one of the Majora's Mask ones and one of the black ones, and I'm probably going to throw the Majora's Mask one on eBay to pay for the black one.
Scalper. Scalper.
Well, it's kind of a ugly looking design.
It is great. Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
agreed.
Did you see the faceplates that Japan is getting for the smaller 3DS for The Legend of Zelda, the black faceplates?
No.
No.
Oh my god, they look awesome.
I try not to look at that because it just ends in tears.
Oh, they're beautiful. Like if you went black console with those black covers with like golden Triforce stuff on them, like it's like ancient Triforce lettering or Hyrulean scripture on it. It is kick ass. It's really, really good. And it's making people even more mad that we're not getting the smaller ones here in the States. But
of course. Hey, Phil.
Yeah.
This. I don't know how big you are into
Huge.
3DS themes. They have a Game & Watch theme.
I already got it on my system. Nope.
And they released Game & Watch Gallery 3 last week.
Yeah, I know. Already
Really?
on my system. Boop.
on the eShop?
On the
Yep.
eShop, yeah.
Yep. Yes,
Did
indeed.
they put out 1 and 2 or not?
Yes.
Those are already available.
Those are great.
Yep. Game & Watch Gallery 4 is a GBA game, so
still have one of those
hopefully
Game
it will
& Watch-
make it to Wii U.
Yeah.
I still have one of those Game & Watch collection cartridges for my DS.
Oh, yeah. The Club Nintendos, yeah.
I don't have
got
the
both
first
of
one, I
those.
still have number 2.
Yeah, I got both of them.
I got rid of the
Nice.
first one. So.
Also in
Awesome
Nintendo news,
stuff.
and also in news of the internet being up in arms, Splatoon is apparently not going to have voice chat. It is a multiplayer shooter without voice chat.
Whatever.
What do you think?
You know what? Like Plants vs Zombies had voice chat, but nobody used it for anything that resembled strategy in any of the games I ever played. So I don't know. I mean, I'm from looking at Splatoon, it strikes me as that sort of very whimsical kind of shooter as well. So yeah, whatever.
I agree.
I'm gonna have to have other people like in my home call me a faggot while I play.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
That's what I got married for.
the downside there, I guess.
Have you taught Finn yet? Maybe you can just
I
have
don't-
Finn sit on the couch.
Yeah. Man, oh man. If you know what, if he ever starts with that crap, I'm not one for hitting my child,
Well,
but
teach
he's
him-
gonna get a smack right upside the head with
That's in
if
your
that-
court.
if
You
I-
just teach him better.
Yeah.
So he never starts with that crap.
Yeah, seriously.
Was there a reason in
Yeesh.
terms of just they're just straight up not doing it, not like, we think it's best for the community to not have voice chat or anything like
Well,
that?
wouldn't they need to release a microphone of some sort, or
There's one on the
gamepad has.
is there one on the gamepad? Shows you what I know.
Yes.
How do you do WeChat? Don't you ever WeChat people?
Is WeChat a thing?
That shows how popular that feature is in anything. You know, I really don't care about this news because when was the last time I even used voice chat in a shooter or a multiplayer online game anyway?
Exactly.
Never. So it really doesn't matter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Persona 5 announced.
There are 5 of those now.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we got this really, really impressive looking trailer. If you've not seen it, you should check it out. This is a game, of course, that I will never play.
Aw.
And because I tried Persona 4, just could not get into it. And I just don't have the time to sink into those games. So, but hey, it looks cool. The trailer looks really awesome.
That is going to be. It's really sad that I love the Persona games. I played through Persona 3 Portable. I put 50 hours into that and thought it was unbelievable. It was like the first RPG I played all the way through since probably Super Mario RPG back in like the early 90s. And that game, along with its story and its really cool characters, its great music, is a really good entry point. And 4 I'm like 25 hours into, and I just stopped playing. This has forced me to go back into it, though, and I've started playing it again, and I got back into, I got that momentum, that RPG momentum again, where I feel like I've hit the ground running. So the sad thing about 5, though, is that it's not going to be on a portable system, and I just don't see myself ever sitting in front of my TV to play a 50-hour game ever again.
Yeah, 50 hour or more, really.
Exactly. Like even Xenoblade Chronicles, I bought a copy of that a couple weeks ago from GameStop, but I'm going to sell it because I'm much more likely to play through that thing on a 3DS. Opening and closing it, playing it for half an hour, closing, then booting up a system, playing and sitting there for like an hour to get some decent progress in. It's just, I really hope we get either a Persona 5 portable, which is possible. If it's coming out on PS3, they can down-res that thing like they did on Persona 3 portable, or potentially, don't laugh, the next PlayStation portable system.
Way to laugh.
I'm trying, folks. I'm trying, Vita fans.
Do you think they're actually... Let's go off on a tangent here. Do you think they're going to do another portable?
Absolutely.
Is it going to be Vita 2, or is it going to be something totally different?
It'll be something different, but there's no chance that they will not do another portable console. It's doing pretty good in Japan. It's really doing good in Japan. They don't market it here, and they're still selling consoles. They're still selling. The attach rate on that thing is still incredible for the amount of consoles that they have out here. And if they sell a couple million here and they sell 30 million consoles in Japan, and they're not putting a ton of money behind it, why not? They're going to compete with Nintendo. Nintendo's going to come with something new, and it is clear right now with the PlayStation 4 sales in Japan, home consoles are not where the money is at in Japan. So if they want to have out there, like a portable system is something that can compete. If it's close, like to the PlayStation 4, like the Vita is to the PlayStation 3, I'm pretty sure that they can get enough out there to get those weird Japanese, whether like the perverted games they'll have, like not kidding, like those sell in Japan, the RPGs like our Ease games, Phil, like those are going to come out on something, and if we want them, they're going to be on a PlayStation Vita, and those niche RPGs that can sell 100,000 copies and still be profitable.
You know what they're more likely to come out for is mobile phones.
You're 100% correct. I'm just trying to be somewhat positive about it because it's if you go to Japan now, like that is last time I was up there, it was mostly phones. Everyone's playing like Puzzle and Dragons, or they're playing some kind of Jewel-like game on their phone, and it's just very few PlayStation Vitas or 3DSs.
Yeah, it's true. It's interesting that the market is flip-flopped so much like that in Japan, where portable is king there, portable is not so much over here.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. All right, should we move along to talk about what we've been playing?
We don't need to talk about what I've been playing.
King Kong, the official game of the movie.
Jack Black mocap, 5 stars.
Yeah. You know, speaking of mobile games, Phil, I saw that you are also playing Tap Titans.
Well, you don't really play
It's Tap Titan.
You don't really play it, right?
Yeah.
You check in with Tap Titans every so often.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed Cookie Clicker for what it was.
Yeah. This is
why not?
pretty much that in RPG format.
And I've only given them like $30, $40 so far, so it's not too bad.
Really? No, clearly not. All right.
You idiot.
The PlayStation Plus games went up last week.
Yes.
Apotheon, have you played that? Have you seen anything about that?
No, tell us about it.
You know what? Who cares about that? Get Rogue Legacy. Get Rogue Legacy.
Playing that. Actually, I forgot to put that on the list. I've been playing Rogue Legacy.
I love Rogue Legacy.
That is true.
But go on.
Apotheon is like a, I don't know if it's Greek or Roman or something. It's like Guacamelee, but
I don't know if it's Greek, Roman. It's one of those ancient ones.
Yeah, you know, it's
like Guacamelee. Seriously?
It's like one of those Metroidvanias. No, it's not exactly like.
Because you sold me with that.
Yeah.
You sold me on that free game I've got waiting for me with that whole.
You should try it. I don't know. The visual style is pretty unique, and
I love unique art style.
Gotta love it. I had not heard anything about this game before downloading it on PlayStation Plus, and was pleasantly surprised. So.
Wow, this looks really cool.
Yeah. Download that now. I'm also really looking forward to playing Transistor, which is PlayStation Plus now. I held off on purchasing it, figuring that it would eventually come to PlayStation Plus, and hey, look at that.
You're that guy.
For some games, I am, but yeah.
I have a question about Rogue Legacy.
What is it?
Yeah,
This is mostly for Phil because I know
We have an expert.
it's fantastic. You should play it.
I am really enjoying it. I'm on like my 1000th Descendant, and I haven't gotten anywhere, but I'm really enjoying it.
Okay.
What
That'll happen.
do you suggest you concentrate on with your cash? Should you concentrate on building up your different character traits, or should you concentrate on getting better gear, or should you try to balance that?
Well, first step is get good at the game.
Well, I'm not that yet. So.
Well, work on that first.
Mm-hmm.
It would behoove you to focus a lot initially on building up your health and attack and defense.
Okay.
You will certainly have more opportunities to do that than to purchase better weapons. But when you do end up with a weapon that you found that does increase stats, go ahead and get that. But just sprinkle the new weapons in between
So concentrate more on your basic skill set.
Yeah,
Okay.
at the beginning, definitely. Try and branch out a little bit when you can. Once you get a few good runs and end up with a pretty decent amount of cash, maybe try and branch out to some of the other stats, just because you do end up locking different character classes or upgrading the existing character classes, which is definitely handy as well. So,
like I have the Barbarian King and the Archmage.
Barbarian King is great, just because they have a crap ton of health, and they can take a lot of punishment. Eventually, you will get a Hokage at some point. They are fantastic for just quick runs through. They're not very good with defense, but they're constantly doing critical hits and stuff. So you're wiping out the enemies very quickly with the Hokage. So those are my two most used classes. Typically, it's Hokages just to run through the castles and getting as much coin as I can as quickly as I can, and then the barbarians for taking on bosses. So.
All right.
I see.
Yeah, there you go. There's a little actual strategy right there.
I mean, I'm really enjoying it, but I feel like I kind of hit a point where I'm like, am I really making any progress anymore?
Right.
So, yeah.
Have you fought any bosses yet?
I keep getting to that one giant eyeball, but I haven't beaten him yet.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's the first one you want to go for.
Yeah.
You want to do the interior of the castle, then head out to the forest, then go up to the upper levels, and then down below. So that's the order in which you should tackle.
We're still talking about video games, right?
Well, when a man loves a woman very much.
A knuckle.
And with the counterclockwise swirl.
Yep.
He's using my move.
There you go.
Kevin's just like, look at him.
Exactly. Kevin, what have you been playing?
Not with my hands. Anyways, these are fresh games for you guys, some new releases. First off, a game that came out last week. Have you heard of this? It's called Metroid Prime.
The baby, and
no, it's not that one. This is the
down, and
is this a prequel or sequel? I guess it's a prequel. This is I don't know the timeline of Metroid as much as I know the timeline.
Well, according to my fanon.
Yeah, look up on the wall. Do you have your timeline up on the wall and your branching paths for all the different senses?
I do.
But I picked up the Metroid Prime Trilogy for $10, which is obviously a ridiculous deal. For all the things that Nintendo does with supply and things that you want them to do and they don't do, and then they do awesome stuff like this. Like, I cannot believe they're doing this for $10, but it's obviously a no-brainer. I've not played these games before outside of just borrowing Metroid Prime when I had a GameCube in college for a little bit. So I'm going in relatively fresh to the series, and right off the bat, I think this is going to surprise you. The game is fantastic. It is really, really good.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
It is. It is like there's great atmosphere. It is surprisingly good in terms of like the jumping because you're in first person. The jumping is. I don't even know how to describe it, but like it's weird when you jump, you actually kind of look down a little bit. Like it somehow is set up so it automatically like tilts. Okay, so this is. I'm not going crazy. All right.
No. This is what we were all at the various magazines when this game came out originally, and that was one of the big. That was kind of the big thing for all the reviewers. Was like, oh my god, they made platforming good in a 3D shooter. Like,
and no one does this. Like, no one else. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's really not a lot of platforming in like a game like Halo or Call of Duty. Maybe the latest Call of Duty to a little bit of a little extent, but with this. Just really, really quickly, because I know a lot of people play this game, the Wii controls take a little getting used to, but once you kind of get the feeling down and you mess with the controls, like I switched trigger to Z and then jump back to A, which is like a flip-flop toggle that they put in there because I guess for some people it's going to be easier to use their thumb really quickly than their finger really quickly. So you're...
Smile for it.
Of course you mind. But anyways... I'm about 3.5 hours in, and no knuckle. So about 3.5 hours in, and the number one take home is that the boss battles are super tense, and they're really exciting because you can joke a lot about like the immersion that you get from Wii controls. But with that game, like when you have that much control over it, and it's really dependent on your accuracy of like your hand and stuff like that, even the mini boss battles were really exciting. And I was surprised because you go into this map that feels vast. You feel like you're going to get lost immediately. Like I thought I was going to get turned around and stuff like that, but they gate it really well, like you would expect in a Metroid game. So I didn't really get lost. Like they were kind of always bringing you down a specific path because. Like any Metroid game, you lose all your abilities after you start with everything. So you have to find your morph ball. You got to get your morph bomb and all that stuff. So the one thing I'll say, I don't think it's $10 anymore, but still at $20, like you are absolutely crazy. If you haven't at least tried to play these games and you have a Wii U, I would go to the eShop and download these games or download this game as soon as you possibly can because it is fantastic.
Hell, at $20, even if you've never played Metroid Prime. That alone.
And you get 1, 2, and 3.
And you get the sequels. So Metroid Prime is one of the best games ever made. I mean,
I'm sure you remember this, Greg, just being at the magazine during that time, how many like different rumors we heard. I think in EGM we actually did a page on this, about Metroid Prime's very troubled production.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. And how like the team was losing people left and right, and they were talking about it, and about how it just wasn't good. And Miyamoto would come in and like completely, he's known for this now, just upend the tea table on the team. So it definitely had a troubled development. It certainly turned out great, but it
was definitely
like it was going to for a long time.
And it sounds like, I mean, just having spoken to other developers, third-party developers that have worked for Nintendo since then, that's kind of the way Nintendo goes. Not that it's always hell,
right?
That it's always troubled, but it's very much, all right, we're going to step in, and I had a great idea, and I, being Miyamoto normally, had a great idea. We're going to try it. We're going to do it. Right. We're doing it, and then their games always end up great, so...
Yeah, they know what they're talking about.
The only thing I gotta say, the only thing about Prime Trilogy that totally bummed me out, and this is so silly, but it's a huge thing for me. I absolutely loved the original Metroid Prime's front end.
Yes, dude, the intro screen and the music. Oh my god! It was like
you don't get it in Trilogy, and it's like, oh man, totally. I wanted that so bad. But
I still remembered that when I booted this game up after not playing that game for like what? It came out in like 2002, like 12 years
it's been
ago.
over 10 years. Yeah.
And that was the first thing I was looking for, because then I even went back on YouTube.
It pumped you up.
Crazy. Oh my God! It was that intro credit scene was unbelievable. What did they do?
Yeah, I know. It's a total bummer. It's not there. Like I said, it sounds, for anyone who hasn't experienced it, it sounds kind of silly to
look it up,
pine for it, but it is awesome.
But I think the big thing with me with playing through this for a couple hours is, one, this is going to sound, there's two things. It's going to sound contradictory, but one, if it was up-res to 720p, this is one of those games like
nice.
Super Mario Galaxies that could really use it, because the environments and the art design is fantastic, but it looks super grainy. Like the text looks super grainy. It's almost hard to read the text. And I'm on a 55-inch TV, like 8 feet away from it. And at the same time, if you could do a, with the new 3DS coming out, bringing it down to the portable, like they did with Donkey Kong Country Returns, because just seeing like the comparison shots of Xenoblade, that looks pretty good for a 3DS for a portable game, and you're gonna think like, I'm looking at Xenoblade Chronicles 3DS on a laptop in 720p. If that's scaled down to a 4-inch screen, it's probably gonna look a lot better.
Right. Yeah,
but
that's true.
What an amazing! You guys were super lucky. I wish I wasn't such a dumbass and I played that stuff back then, because I'm sure that you must have all been just absolutely. Did you guys all like it?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. I never finished it, but I liked it.
Did you play CJ? Did you play 2 or 3?
No.
Yeah, same here.
Echoes, I played a few hours of, and I did not like.
What's Echoes? Echoes is 2?
That's 2.
2.
Okay. And then the third game I've never actually. Well, I did play it a little bit because I think I trashed it on this show, but I only played it very, very briefly.
Is it bad?
I may have played that.
No, I didn't like the controls at the time. So I took a chance on this, where it was $10 for 3 games. I've been wanting to play Metroid Prime again anyway, so I'm gonna play it again and I'm gonna try it with the new controls. So.
Yeah, what a really, for 2002, it was. I just can't believe I totally missed it.
Yep, great game.
Yeah, agreed.
Just really quickly, Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon on the 3DS.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like on my shelf, and I played it when it originally came out, but I didn't want to. There's a couple games that are like in my stack, my queue, that I want to play, but I'm kind of waiting for the new 3DS. But I popped this thing in and started a brand new game, and just like Kirby that I talked about a couple weeks ago, this game has so much just unbelievable like joy. It's so charming. The gameplay is fantastic. The Ghostbusters like gameplay, it's basically like the best Ghostbusters game we'll ever get outside of Ghostbusters the video game. And like right off the bat, it's just still super replayable. Like you can just from, and it's weird, like you go into a Super Mario 3D World, the characters don't have a lot of character. Like you know who they are, but they don't really have emotion.
Right.
You get emotion out of Luigi. I know he's like cowering. Like I think I left it at a spot where he's like literally he's getting like instructions from the guy that is giving him missions, and every single time. What's his name?
Dr. Egad.
Oh, yeah. So he's about to go into a boss mission, and he's telling him, like, there's this big, giant ghoul. We're getting some crazy, off-the-chart levels, and, like, Luigi is just crapping his pants. He's freaking out. But at the end of the day, he gets the job done, and he does what he needs to do. And, you know, what's the thing? The Ghostbusters thing? When something goes bump in the night, who are you going to call? And it's Luigi. So that is a fantastic game. It's a game that should be played if you're getting a 3DS for the first time, or if you haven't picked that game up. It's unbelievable. From the things like him just like walking through the mansion and humming the soundtrack.
Oh my God, that's the best thing ever. but his voice quivering while he does it.
Yeah.
Exactly. You have a directional pad with 4 different ways to say hello. The things like I know we're all friends with like Brian at Next Level Games, but this is the thing where I'm like, yeah, I really love this game, so I did 2 things. I bought a Luigi plushie, and I don't like ever buy toys, but like seriously, just it's a fantastic game, and I just want to have a piece of the game to take home, and also sent a copy of the game to the guys at Next Level to get signed, just because it might be
nice
outside of 3D Land and Link Between Worlds, my third favorite game on the console, which is just jam-packed with outstanding games. As much as like I've talked in the past, I don't like the hardware very much, like the battery life and stuff, but I think the library itself is just, it destroys the PlayStation Vita in terms of retail releases. It is just outstanding, and that's why I'm very excited to get that new 3DS next week, because I get a huge upgrade for this amazing library.
It's always, have you ever played the GameCube game?
No.
You should track that down, because
hopefully it comes.
This is not a remake, right? This is actually a sequel.
It's a new game. Yeah.
And the thing, like, I'm so glad that Nintendo saw fit to have that game made, because like the first game is one of my favorites, and it was such a shame to see it get completely overlooked, because there's so many people back when the GameCube came out were concentrating on the fact that there wasn't a Mario game.
That's right.
I even remember like Dan Shu, our boss at the time, he was like, well, why aren't they launching with a Mario game? And he didn't really, I felt like he didn't give Luigi's Mansion enough of a chance. And the game was just I think
he gave it like a 4.
Yeah, the game was just so charming.
I was on the review also. I gave it like a 9 or a 9.5. I loved the game, and Shu gave it like a 4 or a 5.
Yeah. But I have to go like behind the like scenes. But when you guys have like such a disagreement like that, do you guys talk about it before you put the reviews in the magazine?
Yes.
Usually the scores are decided before you have that conversation.
That's right. You have the conversation after you've submitted your review. Yeah. And Luigi's Mansion was one time where that happened. Another time that happened was Star Fox Adventures.
Well, you were wrong. To get back to Luigi's Mansion for a minute, the thing was that I think that in general a lot of the people, like a lot of the public, just completely overlooked that game because they were more pissed off that they weren't getting a real Mario game, and
that's right.
There was just so much to love about it. Plus the fact that really was the game that gave Luigi the character he has now.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
that created the Luigi character. Before he was just a green version of Mario, really. But now it's like, the whole the sort of ridiculousness that is Luigi now all completely stems from Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube.
I think he's a badass in that game, though. Like, he is putting, like, there's even, like, little things just in terms of, like, charming where you're sucking up these boos, and the boos are too big to get into the vacuum cleaner, so he'll actually go vertical or horizontal, and he'll try to, like, slam the boo into the ground. And, like, there's not a point, like, 2 minutes won't go by without a smile coming on your face. So I think it's just, like right off the bat, it's great to hear that you guys say that, but the unfortunate thing is that I'm not going to get a Wii, I'm not going to get a GameCube, so I hope this is a sign that Nintendo could, I mean, if they can do it with the Wii stuff, get me some GameCube games on my virtual or my eShop.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I've already happened, but it would be great.
I could not believe when Nintendo announced Luigi's Mansion 2 because the game was not very well received in the U.S. in general. And I never thought we'd see anything more from that game.
How much is it like the 3DS game? Is it very similar to it?
The gameplay is almost exactly the same. I mean, the 3DS game is it's more advanced, but the gameplay is very similar. But I mean, it's one mansion, and you're searching for Mario. But it's a very similar game, but it's a different game.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. It's true. It's a great game.
Yep.
Yes,
it is.
All right. Do you want to talk about any of this other stuff you had listed?
Last thing I'll just say, Steel Empire on the 3DS. It's $30. It is.
You're nuts.
Well, I didn't buy it. I got a review copy.
Oh, okay.
I got like a.
You're smart.
A press. You always ask. So full disclosure, I did get a copy to review or to talk about, but the game itself is about $30 on the eShop. I would say if it's $15, if you can get it on sale like it was right at Christmas time, I would definitely jump on it. It is a fantastic remake of an outstanding side-scrolling shooter from the Sega Genesis, and the 3D effect is great. But I think the number one thing is that at the end of the day, it's a shooter that is challenging, but that everyone can play. Like, I was able to make it all the way through the game on the normal difficulty without having to completely retry. I was able to get through that whole thing without even doing any continues. So it's a really good 45-minute or a 60-minute run through the game with great music. The art design is really really cool to check out. With like you fight as a blimp and stuff like that. You're also shooting vertically, but you're also dropping bombs at the same time. So there's some challenge with that. Boss battles are a lot of fun, and you get really cool power ups. So just keep an eye out for it if it's ever on sale.
Was that one of those Flying Edge games?
Correct.
Is that the name?
Yep.
It was like an LJN Acclaim label.
And the box art.
LJN had nothing to do with it. Let's not smear this
fine.
game.
Acclaim.
No, it's the box art itself for the Mega Drive version is unbelievable. Look it up. Like Peter Brown has a Japanese copy which goes for like $250, but the US copy for the Genesis is like more $20-25. But the box art is definitely worth checking out. It is just really it's art. It is just a really beautiful cover.
I really liked that period before shooters became all bullet hell shooters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you could actually hang with the gameplay.
And the Genesis is full of them. Like Greg, I've learned from Greg and just from like checking out videos. But with the Thunderblade series and whether it be Steel Empire, there's so many great shooters on the Sega Genesis.
I mean, Guy Aries, yeah, totally.
That game was difficult.
Yes.
Musha, Whip Rush was pretty good. Yep.
Thunder Force 3.
Thunder Force 3, baby.
Thunder Force 3.
Lightning Force.
Yeah. Lightning Force.
Lightning Force.
Yeah, Lightning Force.
A strange name.
So funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shall we move on then? I think we shall.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Let's do an email. How about that? We got an email this week. Nobody ever
knows. Voicemail again.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll have to get right on that voicemail. All right. So, listener Matt says, hey, P1P crew, I was cleaning out my video game cupboard and found one of my favorite GameCube games, Pac-Man Versus. I even had the GBA to GameCube cable with it. My family and I love this game, but it got me thinking, with the current collaboration of Bandai, Namco, and Nintendo, where is our eShop version of Pac-Man Versus? I can't imagine it would be that hard to port or even remaster. Thanks, and I love the show.
So, somebody explain Pac-Man Versus, because I'm sure this is a game that not a lot of people listening have played.
Right. So in Pac-Man Versus, one player has the GBA, and they are Pac-Man. They play as Pac-Man. They can see the entire board, and they know where everybody is. The other four players play as the ghosts on the map, and they play on the TV.
Right. So, and this uses the GBA link cable to the GameCube.
That is correct.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it was a co-op / versus game. Really, it was really cool.
That's right.
Basically, every character on the field was played by a human.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome.
And they did remake Pac-Man Versus in one of the collections, didn't they? They offered it.
Namco Museum DS. Namco Museum DS is a collection of like maybe half a dozen Namco games. A weird mix of games, actually. I brought it up while we were talking. Listen to this strange, just randomly chosen. It had to have been. Here's what's on Namco Museum DS. You have Pac-Man, Galaga, Galaxian, Xevious, Super Xevious, Dig Dug 2, Tower of Druaga, and Mappy.
What? No Rally X? Come on.
Rally X.
Tower of Druaga is a very big game.
But it's not a good game.
It's a very, very strange mix of games.
Kevin Gifford is very good at that. I remember Kevin Gifford being a big fan of Tower of Druaga.
He is, yes.
I think he's the reason I even know what that game is.
Probably. You might be right.
But the big selling point is that it does have a remake of Pac-Man Versus on there, and not only is it it's now a portable DS game, but Pac-Man Versus supports the download play.
Oh, cool.
So if you have a bunch of friends with DSs, you only need one copy of the game in order to play Pac-Man Versus, and that is fantastic because you don't end up with a jumble of crossed wires like you do with the GameCube version. Because the way the GameCube version worked was that whichever player playing as the ghost killed Pac-Man, they're the next person to play as Pac-Man, so everyone's swapping controllers, and after about 3 rounds, you have a giant knot in the middle of your room.
Right.
And, unless you have a bunch of wave birds.
The other thing that I would suggest is, if you haven't played Nintendo Land, and I know there are people out there that claim to hate Nintendo Land or
I hate Nintendo Land.
Well, that it wasn't the Wii Sports that the Wii U needed, whatever. They have that Luigi's Mansion minigame in there that's kind of similar to Pac-Man Versus.
Yes.
And that's well worth getting if you don't have it.
Just to throw this out there, because CJ brought up Rally X, and for anyone who's played Rally X, it's not a very good game.
No.
But I remember reading this before, and I just went.
I
and looked
like
it up on
Rally
Wikipedia.
X.
Yeah, it's
I
okay,
like
but
Rally
the
X.
my favorite thing about Rally X, okay, is that it
Yeah.
was released at the same time as Pac-Man,
Right.
and the smart money said that Rally X was going to be the big hit.
Right.
So I just always thought it was kind of funny. And if you look on Wikipedia, it says in 1980, Battlezone, Defender, Pac-Man, and Rally X were all shown together at the Amusement Machine Operators show, and everyone thought Rally X was going to be the big game. Like, you say those 3 names, Rally X doesn't even come anywhere besides 4th.
Right.
No.
Yep.
Like, anyway, I just always thought that was funny. But it always seemed to pop up on a lot of those Namco collections and stuff. So.
That game is only $14 for Namco Museum on Amazon, so grab a copy.
Pretty good.
Copies.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, brand spanking new, $14.
Grab it now, because anything that's a cartridge is going to be worth $300 in a couple of years.
Indeed. All right, let's go back to the GameCube stuff that we were talking about earlier. Hacker Alias Toad of Sky says, "What are your personal favorite GameCube games, either small or well-known titles? Any love for Beautiful Joe from the hosts?"
I love the idea of Beautiful Joe.
Yeah, me too.
I really like
fan of the
Beautiful
game.
Joe a lot. I actually really like Beautiful Joe. I'm a fan of Beautiful Joe. I think Beautiful Joe 2 was released a little prematurely. But I loved the first Beautiful Joe for sure.
What about Wave Race Blue Storm, huh?
I liked the first one better.
Oh,
I liked the N64 game more.
I love the GameCube game.
I remember us having this
Really?
fight when we reviewed that game, actually.
I think so. I love that game. And Luigi's Mansion, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
F-Zero X, not X, that was the N64 version. F-Zero was actually made by Sega on the GameCube, and it was fantastic.
Wasn't it
Yes.
GX?
GX, that's right.
Yeah.
And there was an arcade version of it as well,
That
which
was
is actually on the GameCube disc.
Yeah, they found that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
It was kind of neat.
Need
Kinda
like
crazy.
an action replay or whatever to unlock it.
Yes.
Wind Waker,
Wind Waker, yeah.
Wind Waker.
Animal Crossing, fantastic.
Paper Mario.
Yeah.
1,000 Year Door.
Oh, Thousand Year Door was the best Paper Mario game ever. That game was so effing good.
Yep. Yeah.
Metroid Prime.
Metroid Prime, of
Prime.
course. Soul Calibur 2.
Geist.
Huh?
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Geist.
I'm just kidding.
What?
Geist.
I don't know why. I don't know how that game popped in my head right now.
There was the Resident Evil remake, which looked fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course,
There
Resident
was
Evil
Eternal
4.
Darkness.
Resident Evil 4,
Hello?
of course.
Eternal Darkness was awesome.
Eternal Darkness.
Smash Brothers on there was fantastic.
That was like the version of Smash Brothers everybody loved, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
The best game on the GameCube is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Nice.
No, I'm serious.
I believe you.
That's not
I guess.
It's not even the best Zelda game on the GameCube.
True.
I do want to play that version. I was looking at tracking that down recently, but
I'm sure it's
I think
expensive.
it's still
50
it's in a 4:3 aspect ratio too, isn't it?
That's the problem. Is it's
That
in
kinda
4:3, but I mean the big deal. I mean, I've been actually kind of looking at it too. Why were you looking at a copy?
I was well after I finished Skyward Sword. I was like, because Twilight Princess I've never finished, and I finished most Zelda games, so it's like I should go back and play that. But I just remember hating flicking the controller to use the sword. Like I didn't mind it in Skyward Sword because you were using the Wii Motion Plus, and it worked really well, I thought. But the whole flicking the controller thing in Twilight Princess, I just absolutely despised.
What a launch game, though! Holy crap, for the Wii, like
But it wasn't because it was such a disappointment.
What?
I thought it was a huge disappointment.
I have to go back and finish that game. I got most of the way through. I'm probably 3/4 of the way through.
I think we
I
all
played, like,
got
3/4
of the way through.
I got like 10 hours into Twilight Princess and realized I was still in like the tutorial stage.
That's the thing.
You know
That's
what?
a problem, sure.
I'm done with this game.
I stopped at about 10 hours as well, Phil, and it was just because I realized, you know what? I'm only playing this right now because it's a Zelda game, not because I'm having any fun.
This is I was bored to tears with that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I mean, there's a really interesting thread on NeoGAF about the like a competition between Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, and I can kind of see both sides. A lot of people actually said Twilight Princess had a better soundtrack, but I really, really love the Skyward Sword soundtrack. And like I think Greg, you and I were talking about this, but like there's specific scenes, or we talked about this on the Wind Waker episode, CJ, when there's like a specific scene in Skyward Sword where you're trying to protect Zelda so she can get through the time gate and stuff like that. Like there's certain scenes in there that I think are just much better directed. Maybe the word would be, but I still think I want to go back to Twilight Princess at some point, just because of how vast that world is and how many like little things. Like you could just stumble upon a cave and spend 20 minutes in there looking for stuff, and then just go back to the story. It's a really interesting game. I got to get back to it.
Yes,
but I would totally try it on the GameCube just to see what it feels like to play it with more traditional controls.
Well, again, like in a perfect world, like Nintendo would do really cool stuff, like get GameCube games on the Wii U, or even do like little things. Like you got to think that there's got to be some horsepower in the Wii U to upscale these games a little bit if they just did it in emulation. I would think, but when you see stuff like what people are doing in Dolphin and just how beautiful some of these Wii games and GameCube games look when upscaled. It just really crushes my desire to want to play it on a Wii or a Wii U, because, man, these games could look so much better without any work. It's all done in emulation.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point we'll get that. Maybe.
I'm gonna throw this out here too. Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
Hell yeah.
Rogue.
Oh God, I forgot about that game.
Rogue Legacy is the launch one.
Yeah, that sold
Rogue
me.
Squadron
That
2.
sold me on a GameCube. Yeah, that game was
so
beautiful.
good.
I remember being so utterly disappointed with Rogue Squadron 3.
Yeah, it was not as good. Were they those stupid on foot missions?
Yeah, terrible, and the speeder bike stuff.
Yeah, also.
But Rogue Squadron 2 that's the game that when we reviewed that, if CJ, you'll probably remember this because EGM did the big Xbox / GameCube cover. It was literally Xbox / a GameCube on the cover. And Microsoft and Nintendo both came out that month. It was actually, I think it was like October. It was a month after 9/11, actually. They both came out that month with the hardware, and we learned while Nintendo was there that Rogue Squadron was reviewable. So we assigned, it was me and Crispin, I forget who the third person, it might have been you.
No,
okay, but it was me and Crispin Boyer and one other person, I can't remember which reviewer it was, who ended up sitting there all night playing Rogue Squadron 2 in the AV room at the Ziff Davis offices in Chicago, which is a nice room. And we beat it. It was like 5 a.m. We beat it. We did that. We did the run out of the Death Star at the end. And it was me. I was the one who actually ended up doing it. Crispin and I were basically handing the controller off back and forth for like an hour. But man, that game was incredible. The game was so good. That was a hell of a launch game.
How do you guys feel about Nintendo's output in general on the GameCube? I look back at the GameCube and I don't really see it as like a console that like had an outstanding library. Like I felt like there was a lot of like 80s, like a lot of 80s and 85s, but there weren't any like gigantic like like your Super Mario 3D Worlds or your Super Mario Galaxies and stuff like that on it.
There were, I mean, a lot of the games we just mentioned, I think, totally fit in that category. You talk about like Metroid Prime, and I would say Luigi's Mansion personally.
Yeah.
Wind Waker, Thousand Year Door. Those games all fit into that category, I think. But I think the major thing with the GameCube, and it was kind of a continuation of what was happening with the N64. It was all Nintendo doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Like it had totally gone that route where Nintendo was supporting that platform. Whereas you go like 10 years earlier with Super Nintendo, Nintendo barely had to do. They did great games on that system, but they barely had to because everyone else was putting their best stuff on that system. So, they kind of got into a more of a Sega role, more traditional Sega role, where Sega was the one mostly supporting their platforms for the longest time, and then Nintendo went.
I feel like it's very similar to the way it is now. I mean, I think they put out great games for the GameCube, but nobody cared about them because they were already playing the Xbox and PS2. Like,
absolutely,
they weren't even open to the great games that were on the GameCube because of that reason. And I feel like that's sort of what has held the Wii U back as well. Like people see Nintendo and they immediately have an impression of what the quality is, or that it's somehow for babies, and they don't even give it a shot.
Yeah.
And that was to me anyway, in this market, that was the beginning of the whole like the first person shooter craze on the consoles. Obviously Halo came out right around the same time the GameCube came out. So, and the PS2 was kind of going down that road as well, not just first person shooters, but like that sort of sensibility, the more Western developed action game as opposed to the Japanese development side of things. Like it seemed to me like right around then was when that shift started to happen here. So it was just kind of wrong place, wrong time for the GameCube, I think. But there were some great games on that system.
That's
absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like they're ever going to get away from that, though. Like it looks like they're kind of stuck with that. I skipped the GameCube because I looked at the Xbox and it had amazing looking games on it, and it was extreme. You know what I mean? Where like it felt like Nintendo was the same stuff that they gave me on the N64, and that's what I think the excuse that people are having when they don't get a Wii U today. Sure. But like I swear to God, like the Wii U right now, probably this generation going against Xbox and PS4 is probably still putting out the best total lineup of games first party easily compared to the other ones. It's really sad. You should, if you're listening to this and you don't have a Wii U, please go at least check it out.
Yeah, and it's certainly not for lack of trying. I mean, Nintendo their output has been crazy.
This year it's going to be crazy too. It's huge.
Yeah.
But
they really
in the lineup for 2015.
Yeah.
Considering they have two hardware platforms they're supporting, and one of them is basically dead, and yet they're supporting it as if nothing has happened, and they're still the market leader. It's great.
Yeah, totally.
And all the DLC that they've put out so far, especially for Mario Kart, I mean, just a huge value there.
When's the next one come out? March?
May.
Oh my God, May?
Yeah.
Oh. So far away.
They're figuring it out though. They're doing that thing where they're 5 years behind, and they're starting to figure that stuff out. And I just hope that for that next platform, it is that thing that we're all dreaming of, being like a 2-in-1 portable thing that hooks up to your TV. At least that's what I hope. So they could put all these games on one console, something with like the power of a Wii U, or maybe a little bit more powerful, but something that you can bring with you, so it appeases both audiences.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that would certainly appeal to the audience in Japan.
Exactly, totally.
But I don't know. I don't know where they go in the U.S.
It's scary.
Yeah. All right, let's do another one from Hacker Alias, Knee First One, who says, can you think of any early 90s show that Jimmy Fallon has yet to exhume to brutally unfunny results? Any you'd like to see? Because he did the unfunny, yeah.
That was
I
awesome.
kind of like seeing the Saved by the Bell crew together.
Yeah. Has he done Sliders yet? Because that
Yeah, you like sliders? Dude, let's get Jerry O'Connell on the phone right now. John, you doing shit.
I was being sarcastic. I don't know.
No, you can even get Jerry O'Connell's crappy brother and get him on the phone. The guy that played Rembrandt Brown, I'm sure, is around doing something.
Daddy. Poo poo daddy.
Oh,
we have a poo poo daddy.
Mission.
All right.
Oh wow.
You could
cold,
do
CJ.
Quantum Leap also.
Hell yeah, dude! Scott Bakula is being wasted on that cop show, whatever the hell. He's on one of those damn stupid cop shows that all those old people watch. Damn it.
Yeah.
CSI bullshit. Talk about
Are we getting to the
talent.
point where Friends, you could do a reunion with the Friends cast? Coming up on that.
No one wants
Certainly.
a reunion of the Friends cast. Seinfeld.
Exactly. Actually, I think Jimmy Kimmel did that a couple of times
Hmm.
already. So, all right, hacker alias JMill99. With recent Sega layoffs and focus on PC and mobile, what are your current thoughts about where the company stands and where it's heading? I don't think we did this question last week.
No, we didn't. We skipped it. It was too painful.
Too painful for you.
I don't know because the thing is that it's funny because when I went back last week and I just typed in Sega to concentrate on mobile, the first news story I got was actually from 2006.
Really?
Which is kind of weird. So they've done this before, and it didn't really pan out the way they were thinking. But I don't know what to think of it yet. I mean, I honestly, I don't play every Sega game that comes out anymore, and I haven't for a long time because they're not the company that, they're not making games that speak totally to me anymore.
Yeah.
They still do some really good stuff, but, so I'm really kind of indifferent. I hate to hear that people lost their jobs. I don't want them to disappear from the console space, but I'm kind of indifferent to the whole thing. The odd Sonic game that comes out I'll check out, and more often than not I'm disappointed with it. But other than that, I didn't get Alien because it was a Sega game. I got it because it looked like a kick-ass Alien game.
Right. It's also like, what company out of Japan isn't focusing on mobile right now? I mean,
Right.
For the majority of them, if you look at, Konami, Square, Enix, Capcom, etc., like which platforms are they really focusing on? It's mobile, and a lot of those games by those publishers don't end up coming out here, but they come out in Japan and they make boatloads of money, and it's just where the industry has gone from the Japan side.
Yeah, totally.
It's
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, even look at the Sega franchises that we know and love. I mean, Sega farms a lot of that stuff out these days. The Sonic games, that's a different team almost doing it every couple of years. They're farming it out to different
Sonic team.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think the one of the best, most underrated development teams out there, Sumo Digital, did a lot of Sega stuff. And if they could get their hands back on Sonic, or whether they did like a sequel to Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast or something like that.
Hurt me.
I know, but I think it is a case of Yakuza is going to come out. A new Sonic game will come out. They might squirt out a couple licensed games, and even Alien, I think is kind of just a game that they published just because they have the rights to Alien right now, and I just don't. We all want a Shenmue game. I don't think we're going to get it.
No.
No.
Add it to the list. What is it? Building the list. Keep sending it to Sony.
Yeah.
So speaking of Sega, though, you heard that there's a new Toe Jam and Earl in the works.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I heard something.
Yeah. What's going on with that?
It's from the same people that did Doki Doki Universe. Because I believe that who's it? Vorsanger and Johnson were the two.
Yeah, Mark Johnson.
Mark Johnson and Greg Vorsanger, I think is how you say his name.
Yes.
They kept the rights to those characters.
Yeah.
I believe
You're
Sega
right.
doesn't own those, so they have the ability to make a Toe Jam and Earl game.
And that would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty awesome. Although Toe Jam and Earl 3, I wasn't crazy about it.
No.
But, still love the first one.
Yeah, the first one was great. I only finished it once. It was when I was sick from school.
Really?
Yeah.
I love
Man, I
that
played
game.
through that first one so many times, yeah.
I still got to play through that Toe Jam and Earl. Adam Silvers found it back in my play, sent me a copy of that game, and I still have to boot that up.
Oh, dude.
So good.
And also Sean 698, I don't want to give out his full name, sent me a copy of Gunstar Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Which, Greg, you keep saying I need to play that with a friend.
You need to play both
Yeah.
of those games with a friend. You need to get somebody
Yeah,
who wants
for
to
sure.
play some old Sega games and play both of them.
But I don't
Yeah.
need to play Contra with a friend to have fun. I don't need to play Mercs.
Listen, you can have fun with Gunstar Heroes without playing multiplayer, but it's such a better game multiplayer. It's like Streets
agree.
Race 2. Streets Race 2, amazing game single player. Multiplayer, whole other level.
Yeah, sure, but as long as there's no kind of friendly fire, you know?
Nope.
All right. Like Streets of Rage, like you can jump behind and you can grab each other's waist, which is real hot, but it depends who's player too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
No, but they're much better games. They're meant to be played multiplayer, but they're still really good single player. But
I'll get to 'em
Toe
at some
Jam and Earl in particular, I think you get way more out of it playing multiplayer.
Bonanza Brothers, that's a game you need
But-
with two players.
God.
Bonanza Brothers, yes. That was a fun game. I rented that back in the day.
I love that game. Split screen, even if you're playing single player.
Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, it's got all this stuff we probably talked about except for Gunstar.
Yeah, I
True.
think so. Phil's not here to pimp it. Oh, yes, he is. I can't tell.
Oh.
All I can see
Yeah,
is his
I'm
ear.
here.
There he is.
I'm here.
Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection.
He's playing with his
Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection is perhaps the finest game to grace both the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
The finest Ultimate
Console
Genesis
system.
collection ever released.
Yeah,
40
I would
great games
think
for
so.
$20.
It's a deal.
Well,
like
39
Michael-
great games in columns for $20.
All right.
Oh,
Should we do one more tweet? I think we should. Hacker Alias Beard the Movie says, it's a bit late, but what's your favorite football game? NFL Blitz.
Blitz
Mutant League
2000.
Football.
One of the FIFAs.
Nice.
Blitz 2000 on a Sega Dreamcast, which I was streaming a couple days ago, is still unbelievably playable. It is a ton of fun, and it is arcade perfect on the Sega Dreamcast.
Nice.
Blitz was pretty great.
Just make sure it says Hot New on the cover, otherwise you get the glitched out Dreamcast version. Don't get the glitched out Dreamcast version. It should say Hot New or whatever it said on
What
it.
were the games that were affected by that? It was Ready to Rumble, Blitz, Hydro Thunder,
Yeah, it was the
Hydro
Midway.
Thunder.
and something else, I think.
God, I
That was
miss
a great
Hydro
launch.
Thunder. I miss having a
Hydro Thunder
Hydro
was great.
Thunder arcade machine in my kitchen.
Yes. Love that.
With the wind, you had the one with the like it blew wind in your face too.
No.
No.
That was Arctic
was that
Thunder.
Hydro?
That
That was Arctic
Arctic
Thunder that did that, which that was just annoying, to be honest.
Felt so
The
awesome.
worst thing was how Midway treated those games. It was like they had a great team to put together Hydro Thunder, and then they pretty much like farmed the rest of those out. They were like, "Oh, this one's making money. Let's see what other Thunder type games we could do with other teams."
And they all sucked.
Yeah.
And they were terrible.
Hydro Thunder game on the 360 wasn't bad. I still I pulled
Oh, it's
out
great.
360 and re-downloaded that. That's still what's it? Hydro Thunder something? Tropical Freeze? No, Tropical something.
Yeah, it was like freeze. Something Hurricane, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vector Unit did that one. They do a lot of mobile games, and they actually put out that Riptide GP2 game out on the Xbox One like 2 weeks ago for $5. But it's a port of a mobile game. So they do great water effects in their racing games. Makes me miss Wave Race Blue Storm even more.
64.
All right. What?
Nothing.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you would like to comment on something you heard, or if you have a question for us, direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitter. You can hashtag your question with AskP1P and get it automatically added to our outline, which makes things so much easier for me personally. So do that. You can go to our internet website at playeronepodcast.com. There you'll find blog entries and show notes and email addresses, and all of our stuff is there, basically. And you'll even find a forum where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting playeronepodcast.com or by going to the iTunes Music Store. While you're at the iTunes Music Store, you can also invest $1.99.
Cheap.
Pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application. Gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails and the Twitters.
Oh, you did it.
And the what-haves-yous. We also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
You know, I hate that you can't say voicemails anymore because it ruins the whole. You had a whole like.
I know, right?
It's a beautiful thing, and now it's ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try and get voicemails back in that app.
Okay.
Because it's really kind of throwing off my cadence.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Yeah, it's over there in the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're also on Stitcher. We're on Facebook for likes. You can join a Steam group. You can. Go on the Twitters. You can see all episodes on YouTube. We have an archive of episodes on YouTube. That's youtube.com/P1Podcast. You can watch us live. Most weeks on the YouTubes. Just follow our Twitter account to find out when we'll be broadcasting our next live show.
Yeah.
CJ!
You can go to patreon.com.
Oh, yeah, Patreon.
As well.
Yeah, you can give us money.
Yeah.
And you can give Stuart money there for Generation 16. That's generation-16.com.
You got it.
For all your fantastic retro Sega goodness. Yeah, go give us money.
Phil, you're gonna love this. Speaking
What's
of
that?
Nintendo and their development style, I'm throwing out a whole segment of the new episode, redoing it.
What? Why is that?
Gonna make it better. Gonna make it better. Yep.
Did Miyamoto come over to your house and?
Yep. We had a long talk.
Start tossing tables around.
He told me how much I inspire him, and because apparently he wanted to make Genesis games the whole time.
Oh,
did not know that.
I thought it was Game Gear games. He thought that thing was so much better than the Game Boy.
So how much extra time is this adding to the episode's
It
release?
won't be long because I hadn't actually edited this piece together yet. I just just written it and done the VO, so I just need to rewrite it. So it shouldn't make things too much longer, but yeah, I found out some really cool info on one of the things that I'm covering, and I want to make sure I get it in there.
Oh, okay. This wasn't like you ended up going off on like some 9/11 truther rant that you tend to go off on in your
that's for episode 16
in your videos. Okay, just making sure.
That's why
PK lost. Actually, the whole thing is just unboxing videos now. That's I don't even cover the games anymore. I just unbox them.
Unboxing Genesis games.
Yeah.
Footage of you dumpster diving at a GameStop.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Here's what promotional crap I got that they threw out this month.
Yep.
CJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Money.
Thank you.
Oh, I want a quick shout out to Nintendo World Report because Alex Kulafi, friend of the show, Alex Kulafi, had me on last week's episode of the Nintendo News Report on their YouTube channel, and that was awesome. Talking to him and Alex Osborne for 40 minutes about Nintendo stuff.
I saw that part where you were talking about how much you didn't like Wonderful 101 or how it didn't click.
Well,
terrible.
Not everybody can like that game.
No, totally.
Man.
I mean, look at it.
CJ doesn't like.
There's a demo for it. That's why you can play the demo.
CJ doesn't like any game that is developed by a Japanese.
Yeah,
that is not true. That is definitely not
so
true.
It's a racist thing.
Little racist that way. Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any evidence supporting that.
Like the Nintendo crap on the back of his shelf. Look at all that stuff out there.
Meanwhile, Generation 16 is wondering why Tower 7 fell. There was no reason for that. Yeah.
I was contacted by someone, made a really good argument. I'm like, you're right. I'm changing my opinion.
There you go. See?
So, hey, Phil, you know how we chased Target out of Canada a little while ago?
Yeah.
We've apparently chased Redbox out of Canada as well.
Oh, wow.
They're shutting down and moving back south.
Wait, but how you guys get... Wait, Red Box?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Red Tube for a second there. I was worried how you were going
Biggest
to
customer.
worried how you were gonna spend your weekends.
And now, if you want some porn links, you just listen to the Player One podcast.
There you go.
So what's gonna happen? Can you just like go over there and rent a movie and not return it?
I
Get
think
free
so.
movies?
It's like a land rush.
Well, CJ, thank you.
You said that.
I don't care. I'm starting over again.
Thanks, Phil.
CJ will not take your
Not
polite
appreciative.
adoration
Not
twice.
appreciative.
That's right.
Not appreciative.
Nope.
Greg.
Hello.
Greg. Thank you.
Thanks,
of course.
Phil.
And extra special,
Fuzzy.
super
Yes.
thanks
Fast and Furious
to
thanks.
We're still
to
talking about
our
the movie,
Too
right?
Fast and
Yes.
Too Furious. Yes.
Special secret
To our
Johnny
good friend
Depp
Kevin
thanks.
Larrabee. Special guest Kevin Larrabee. Kevin, where can the good folks find you on the internet these days?
There's a couple places. Oh man, my mic's getting jacked up. So for a couple places, first off, backinmyplay.com, which is a fantastic, positive retro podcast where not only are you going to get to hear our memories and history of the games, we actually go back and we replay those games so we have fresh impressions, and it's not just fuzzy or nostalgic memories. And like I said, it's always a very positive atmosphere. We only play good games. And we only talk about good games. So
Except for Mylon Secret Castle.
except that goddamn piece of crap, Mylon Secret Castle. And you know what? Like, I'm not going to talk about it. So anyways, we had a great episode last week with Kurt Collada, who came on to talk about Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge on the Nintendo Game Boy, which has an unbelievable soundtrack. It is a really fun game, and if you hook it up and play it through a Super Game Boy, it is like a really it's a much better time on the Super Game Boy. Like any Game Boy game, try to play it on the Super Game Boy these days. But a fantastic game, and also, I've been talking to a couple of you guys about coming on and talking about Mega Man 6 that we're going to do really soon. With Phil and Greg and Mega Turk and Greg and I are going to do at some point. That's a game that I absolutely love, and I played almost all the way through, but it gets super hard towards the end. So I'm trying to play through that game and get it done. But
Counterclockwise swirl.
The knuckles. So
Man.
And the last thing I want to mention is we actually
crib note.
Hold on. This is an important one, and you guys will benefit from this anyway. So I want you to go to bit.ly/BIMP Next Gen, where we're offering our new next generation PlayStation 1, Sega Saturn, N64 logo T-shirts, done by the awesome designer Lloyd Parker, the Par Master on Twitter. He's put together a new logo that features those 3 fantastic consoles, and that's just about as next gen as it's going to get on those shirts. And they're available for 8 more days from the time this is being recorded, and they're only $15. So if you want to jump on there and grab one, they're really nice, high quality, combed cotton. I didn't know that was a thing, but they're combed cotton T-shirts, which are really, really great through Teespring. So check them out, and that's it. Yeah.
I'm just going to jump in here and say that Mega Turkin is freaking awesome.
It's in literally it's in my Sega Genesis right now, waiting to be hooked back up. It's right there.
Whoa.
It's in my.
That was an extreme close-up with the Genesis.
Well, this is
It's a gorgeous system.
You got to know it has high definition graphics.
That's right.
Yes.
Through S-video output.
Look at you with
The
your
original
mod.
high def. system.
The problem with your mod there, Kevin, is now you'll never be able to play Mega Modem games.
Oh, well, the good thing is that I don't give a shit, so I play this stuff just fine. And it plays all my great legal copies of video games.
Hey, Kevin.
We're never going to play Telltale Mahjong together?
Aw.
Nah, man. I'm going to play Streets of Rage on my Game Gear.
Kevin, what do you think of the soundtrack to Mega Turrican there?
Fucking awesome. I know, sorry, I didn't mean to swear.
Wow.
No, it's deserving.
Like
the Oh, go ahead.
I've ended multiple episodes with music from that game, like saying, "All right, well, next episode we're going to do Mega Turrican," but mostly I just do it because it's just it's one of those things that you can like send to the guys at 8.4 that shows what no, I'm serious. Like, the Sega Genesis is capable of. Like, we had JJ from 8.4 on the show a couple weeks ago to talk about Panzer Dragoon, and like he is the lone person at that office that will actually defend the Sega Genesis at all. But this is like Mega Turrican, and there's a good the Thunder Force games. Listen to those soundtracks; they're unbelievable. There's plenty of games that have great soundtracks on the Genesis. It's just making sure that they're not made by EA or other lazy American developers at the time.
Well, the Mega Turrican soundtrack is by Chris Hulsbeck, who was also the guy who did the soundtrack for the Great Gianna Sisters. So, yes indeed. He look up Chris. It's Hulsbeck, but there's an umlaut. Yeah, there's an umlaut in there. So I'm an American. I don't know how to pronounce umlauts, but yeah, he's done some fantastic soundtracks. Among them, all the Turrican games and Gianna Sisters. So yeah.
Yeah, it's it will be coming up soon. So like I said, if you like old stuff, you're gonna hear these guys on the show quite a bit, just because you guys like old games. You're positive when it comes to that stuff, and that's and same thing. I still check out Retronauts too if you like old video games, but we have our own little spin on it.
Oh,
yeah, we knew Sega existed.
Yeah, no, they had a really good Telenet episode which Shane Bettenhausen was on. Was super good.
Yeah.
But Greg, you're going to be at PAX, so we'll get to hang out at PAX.
I'll try to. We'll see.
Just come, and if you stay for 5 extra days, then we can go see Fast and Furious.
I never thought about that.
Days. It comes out the week after PAX.
Anyway,
wasting money.
Let's end the show. We'll talk about this later.
All right, next week.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kevin.
Kevin.